Okay, guys, so welcome to our home sale tools and program overview. I'm going to go ahead and share screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing. And like I said, I will be sure to send out the slide deck to you immediately following class. Just got to move all these things over. Okay, so let's first start with everybody's most recent memory is our Google Business Platform. We just recently switched over from Rackspace Webmail to a Google Business Platform. So now you have a super professional at homesale.com account that is utilized through Gmail. It makes it easy for you to be able to sync your contacts and your calendar and your email with other technology platforms in a much better way than it used to. And there is a shared Google Calendar for company-wide events and happenings. So all of it just kind of in that Google workspace helps to be singular and in one place. There is a Google Drive that we are adopting and using now for unlimited file storage. So a lot of the things that you would typically have found on the Team Home Sales site are also making their way now into Google Drive for easier access and easier sharing. A lot of the class documents and stuff are also done through Google Drive. So the Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Google Slides are what you guys would normally associate with Microsoft Office. But now it's all online that way. So if you don't have your laptop with you, or you've got it currently on an Excel on one laptop and not on the other, that's the joy of using this cloud-based kind of system, is that Google Drive is accessible wherever you are. So if you land in the office and need to use one of the agent computers, you can log into your Google account and still have access to all of those things that otherwise you'd be like, man, it's on my other computer. Google Meet also allows you to host video meetings. I've used it a couple of times. I like it. It's fun. It gives you the opportunity to have face-to-face meetings with your clients, potentially, sellers that are maybe out of state that you want to have conversations with, buyers that are maybe not available as easily face-to-face. So you can do Google Meet to have your business meetings and go over contracts and stuff with them. Okay. As always, we love our home sale center. So that is another tool and resource that you can use to help you facilitate your businesses. This has been recently revamped to give you quick button options for the things that you're trying to accomplish and the places that you're trying to get. So it gives you quick access on this main dashboard page to the things that agents most commonly use, or the things that are important right now for you to be able to grab and use immediately. So it has dotloop, it has Bright MLS that you can jump to very quickly, but it also allows you to hire the transaction coordinator, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, to get to the training and education videos and live classes and continuing ed and all kinds of stuff there. Okay, so lots of options for you in the dashboard, lots of options on the left-hand sidebar menu for grabbing listing presentations or jumping forward for social media graphics that you can find. So it's all organized in a way to make it easier for you to find things by subject matter. Okay. As you guys know, we are using dotloop for our electronic signature program. We do have a premium account. So this is just an example of what you're going to see. All of the offices have a pre-organized listing form packet and buyer form packet. It allows you to add property details, autofill, e-signature, but it also has built-in back office workflow. So it makes it super easy for you to submit your files to your office administrator to process and send through accounting and the various other departments. So this is my moment to also remind everybody to make sure that you are submitting your files for review frequently and often throughout your under contract process.
We do have a question in the chat about the home sale center, asking if they can add to their dashboard.
I do not believe you can add specific tiles to your dashboard at this time, no. But what you can do is if I pop back to that screen here, when you're in the dashboard, I can't believe I even forgot to mention it. One of my favorite features about the home sale center is this little search bar right here. You can literally anything. So if it's not just immediately there and you're like, man, I really want a listing presentation right now and I don't want to have to go hunt for it, then you can start typing the word listing presentation or type Facebook cover photos or whatever it is that you're looking for, and it will find it for you and you just click it and you're there. So it's
Even
as
if
good
it's
as
other Berkshire Hathaway agents, or if you have your clients in the CRM at the home sale center, you can type clients' names, you can type other agents' names, or anyone in home sale, and they're in there.
So I can search for tools specifically, things that I need specifically, flyers or whatever, but I can also search for people. So if I start typing the word Tracy, I'll get any Tracy that's an agent in home sale or any Tracy that I have in my CRM as a client. So almost kind of takes away the need to have a tile button. I hope that answered the question. Okay, so then dotloop, does everybody on the call have the dotloop mobile app? I'm hoping so. Does anybody not have the dotloop mobile app? Oh my gosh, guys, you gotta get the dotloop mobile app. It is so helpful when you're on the go. It does a lot of the same functionality that dotloop on your laptop does, but I prefer it for like those moments where I'm grabbing an earnest money deposit check from my buyer. I can open the dotloop app, take a picture of it, and it loads it up into my loop automatically. So I can just take that check and head straight to the listing office and drop it off. And if I have anybody on the phone who's from Maryland, it just makes it, we hold that check anyway, but it just makes it easier for you to have it in your loop to begin with. I also can use it in those moments where I'm doing a consumer notice with a buyer and I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. I can have a separate folder of consumer notices. And then when I do it at an open house, presumably, I can take a picture of that consumer notice. It loads it up into my loop, and then I can just let that person walk away with their signed copy. So it definitely, for that purpose especially, is really helpful on the go to just instantly get it into your loop, let them go. It also helps you too, because if you have the app and you have clients that are like signing things and you've got to walk away from your house or whatever, it keeps throwing up the banners on your screen saying, Kathy Kinney signed this, Tracy Morgan signed that. And then you kind of already sort of know what's happening without having to go into your laptop to check. There is a closed Facebook group that is specific for home sale realty. It's called the Homesale Loopers Facebook group. There's also
throw that in the chat box.
Yep, thank you. So if you're not joined with the Homesale Loopers Facebook group, we do suggest that you do that. It's where you can go to ask questions about how to get something accomplished in dotloop. It's also where sometimes they will throw information about if it's having problems that day or something. Okay, questions about dotloop before we move on? Not too heavy though. I have a separate class for dotloop. Okay. Cloze. Has everybody heard about this coming soon? It's our new CRM that we're going to be rolling out. Oh my gosh, I have seen it myself. I have like big heart eyes about it. It's very exciting. I think it's going to be a huge improvement to your CRM experience. But what's best about this, now we're shooting for June, July, don't hold it possible, but we are shooting for June to July. No more data entry. The joy of Cloze is that it automatically keeps track of all of the activities and communication between you and your clients, because it pulls in all of your emails, your calls, your texts, your appointments, all the dotloop files, like everything that you're doing with communication with your people. This system is going to be logging and tracking that for you. So it would be organized by contact, by company, by meeting. It even grabs email signatures and pulls those in to update your contacts information, like their contact information.
You can easily send out bulk emails.
Yep, it does a lot of things.
A group of clients you want to send an email out to, super easy.
Mm-hmm. So the program's algorithms know who's important to you. And so what I like about this is that it's going to automatically prompt you when it's time to reach out. So it will say something like, hey, Tracy, you haven't reached out to Chrissy in this many days or this long of a time. It's time for you to reach back out to that person. So it does a lot of that prompting to work your sphere of influence on your behalf. Okay. And so you're always prepared. It's kind of like having a personal assistant. It tells you exactly where you left off with context from those emails and calls and social media interactions and stuff. So I'm really excited to see how this rolls out. Okay. As a reminder, Go
We have
ahead.
a question. Does it have a timeline notification like Folio? Are you talking about like once you close, then it's like, hey, it's your yearly reminder that they closed a year ago? Is that what we're
No,
talking about?
it's more like I use it because you can set up at the very beginning of a, you just went under agreement, and then you can set up all your what's next steps according to the contract. And 3 days we have to have this done, and 5 days we have to have this done. And it just
Gotcha.
is an online timeline, which my clients love because they kind of know what's ahead.
Yeah, not sure about that because at this point I've only been involved in those real precursor discussions. So I will have to get back to you. Well, you're going to see, we're going to roll out tons and tons of training and information once this gets a little bit closer. So keep an eye out. Okay, so Market Watch reports, just a quick reminder that these exist and they're helpful in utilizing and communicating with your sellers. So you can set up a Market Watch report that's going to provide your customers with really good market update information. You can see here, it shows you like bar charts for the activity in terms of how long the asking price trends, the number of days that they're available trends, as well as to the far right, you can see a big list of properties that have recently sold near them or have recently gone under contract or are new to the market. So if you want to set that up, it's under the Home Sale Center on the tools and marketing section. You have a direct link to a direct tile to go do a market watch. Really great for like long-term touch with your clients, maybe even those who just recently purchased a home so that they can kind of see what the trends are like moving on forever and ever. Potential listings that you don't have yet and like they're maybe on the fence would be a really good thing to send Market Watch reports just so that you have that stickiness factor and continue to stay in their orbit.
You can also set these up to automatically post on Facebook. So like once a quarter, I have them go out on Facebook as just like a touch for Facebook. Yep.
And if you're interested in learning how to do that, I do have some short videos in the training video section that kind of cover some of these more micro topics. QuickBuy. Hopefully everybody on this call is familiar with our QuickBuy program now. We do have the ability to purchase homes for cash now, so we can compete with those cash now type properties if that's what your seller's interested in. What I really like about this is that there's sometimes a concern about, well, am I going to be able to get the listing if I'm telling them we have these cash offers? But in reality, most people don't want the cash offer. It's usually lower than what they're hoping to get from a traditional sale. But a lot of people are actually really interested in knowing what that is. So that's the disconnect. A lot of people, 77%, are interested in knowing what they would get for cash. So we need to be able to deliver that and have that ability. Usually once they've seen that number, if that's what they were thinking they wanted to do, they turn it down and they sell traditionally. Of those that do choose to take the QuickBuy option, you as the agent still have that listing. It's just not with that particular seller. You would sell it after QuickBuy has ownership of it. Okay, so there's 3 different things that can be done here. The standard QuickBuy offer itself, that's an immediate cash offer on a qualified property. So you do have to make sure it's qualified. Again, you can read all about the details of QuickBuy under the QuickBuy tile in Home Sale Center. It's awesome because if you have those sellers that have like, I don't know, 10 kids and 6 dogs, and they just don't want like all of these people coming in the house and having it be chaos, that might be the right solution for them, is to choose a QuickBuy offer instead and just not even put it on the market or have showings or deal with any of that. And they can close on the seller's timeline. We are seeing some people interested in the QuickBuy Lock program, which is kind of the best of both worlds. It allows the listing agent to list the property, but QuickBuy has already also offered them a cash offer, and they have up to 150 days to decide, do I want to take the cash offer or do I want to just go ahead and finalize this traditional sale? Okay. Sometimes some agents are using that to help them be non-contingent when they're making offers. So you can talk to your manager about how to do that and strategize that, but it can be a helpful program. And the lease back is kind of like an attachment to either one of those. This allows your seller to take the quick buy offer just so they can get their cash and then continue to stay like a rent back situation where they can stay in the home, and quick buy then becomes the landlord. Okay. And again, if you have more serious questions about that, there are several training videos on the subject that dive very deeply into quick buy, what it does and how to use it and the fees and costs and all of that.
Can we real quick review how to get to those training videos?
Again, Homesale Center, and then you can type into the black search bar quick buy and you will get everything quick buy related, videos, graphics, everything. Okay. Thank you, Chrissy. Listing presentations. These have been updated slightly in terms of the method that you're getting them. As always, the PDFs are in the Homesale Center. So again, Homesale Center, you can either look under the listings section or you can use the search bar to start typing presentations and it will come up. So you have the option of doing a PDF, just straight print and go, or you can choose to copy them into your own Google Slides where you can customize them. So the customizable version has like a seller intro letter, it can have testimonial, it can have biography, all kinds of things. And it lets you put your own picture and your own contact information in it so you can create your own like super slick home selling proposal. Okay, and that would be yours and it would be in your Google Drive. So that is an option. What we're suggesting then is that you take your customized, beautiful, personal proposal and then use Bright CMA, Report, or RPR, or whatever you're using to do your comps and pull that in and add it to the pricing section. Okay. Quick reminder about our listing syndication, that Homesale does make sure that our listings go to over 32,000 different websites. It is because of our relationship with the Delta Media Network and their access to all of those other websites. So no other local real estate company would have that much of a reach. And it gets maximum exposure on all of the major real estate portals. So the big guys, Realtor, Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com, all of those kinds of things. We get the most possible exposure that we can there. And that we've partnered with several other top real estate portals as well. Okay. So the idea being that if we get your listings on there and you are the featured agent or one of the featured agents, depending on the platform's requirements, then the intention is that you get directly the leads and the inquiries from your home on those websites to the best of our ability. Okay, so there is this automated listing program, which is social media sponsored ads on your behalf. They've recently switched it over to a company called Chalk Digital, which will then automatically create and run digital ads for your new listing on Facebook, but also on a whole bunch of popular mobile apps, which is what I really like about this change. CNN, the Weather Channel, ESPN, and more. Okay, so the ads are going to run for 1 week and they're targeted within a 15-mile radius around your listing. And the ads actually will retarget your seller based on the email address that you add to the system. So that's kind of important. It would need to be the email address that they're consistently using, and then hopefully that's what they're using for their social, which is then how they would be able to see those ads. But you'll get daily reports for you to see how your listing ads are performing, and those daily reports are things that you can then share with your seller to let them know how it's performing and include them in that communication. Okay. So that happens, you don't have to do anything, it just goes into the system, goes into MLS as a new listing, and then this gets processed through the national site. Okay. However, we are also doing open house targeted ads on your behalf as well. And Homesale Realty is the only local real estate company that is doing this on your behalf for both Facebook and Instagram. Your open house, however, does have to be in the MLS by Wednesday morning if you want the ads to generate for that weekend. Okay, so Homesale will create it, generate it, cover the cost of your ads, handle the comments and inquiries. And the ads are targeted to consumers who are living within 15 miles of the property. So very similar to the just listed ads. Okay. Those targeted open house ads also will reflect performance on the seller's weekly report, which we're going to get to here shortly. Reminder about our virtual tours and YouTube videos. What I like about doing this tools overview is that sometimes with the markets being the way that they are, we tend to forget about or not use some of the tools and resources because the market doesn't call for it, and then you forget they exist. So it's very helpful to come in here and just be reminded that when the market turns and shifts, these are all the things that are available for us to continue to show value and stay in communication with our seller about our marketing. So AdMaster is the program that we use to automatically create that virtual tour for you. And it also creates a YouTube video. So nothing that you need to do other than to get it into the MLS, nothing that you pay for home sale handles at all. But you can edit it through the Home Sale Center by going to Tools and Marketing and to the video virtual tours. Not really a lot of need to do that unless for some reason you don't like the type of elevator music that's going on in the background, or you want to change the pictures or something. But for the most part, the pictures you put in, the stuff that happens to it is fine. If you want to see your YouTube video, you would go to youtube.com and then you're looking for the channel called Homesale V for virtual tours. And then you'll see everything and you can search for your listing. I like to make sure that my seller is included in this. Again, especially in today's market, but in all markets, the seller's like, well, what are you doing to, market my home? What makes you different? What kind of stuff are you working on? Even if I'm not doing it myself personally, and Home Sale is generating all of this really cool stuff for me, I'm going to make sure I'm utilizing that and leveraging it as much as I possibly can. So I'm like, look at this virtual tour I created for you, Mr. Seller. Check this out. And then you send it to them so that they're feeling engaged with you through that process. Okay, so let's talk about the Marketing Resource Center. This is customizable marketing materials for your listings, your business, your branding, your social. Oh my gosh, the list is endless for the things that are in the National Brands Resource Center. Recently, they have made a change. One of the hesitations for using the flyers and stuff was that it was hard. You weren't able to access anybody else's listings. So unless you had your own listing and were marketing your own brand, that was really helpful. But if you were hosting an open house for somebody else, you wouldn't be able to access that listing to create those flyers. They changed that. So now you do have access to whatever listing that you need to run the ad on. Very helpful for team situations, very helpful for open house hosts that are not the listing agent. But you can do e-cards, e-newsletters, print newsletters. What I really love is that they dive deep into social media. You can get videos, you can get graphics, both for Instagram, you can get stories that you can post on Instagram and Facebook. It's really cool. So I would strongly suggest if you haven't been in the National Brands Resource Center lately, you definitely should pop back in there and take a look because it is expansive and it's really, really global. It's great options for marketing yourself. Okay. They can be done, they will automatically share to your social media if you make that connection. You can print things off of here, and it does also have the ability to order third party. So if you want like a really nice, like multi-page brochure on a really thick stock, it does have the ability for you to order that through Express Docs and have it either delivered to you or to some otherwise generated address list or radius or something like that. Okay. So another nod to Chalk Digital, we had talked about how that program creates automatically your new listing sponsored ads, but you also have the ability to create your own and run your own ads as well through that system. I just checked into it yesterday. If you go into the Berkshire Hathaway National site and click in marketing resources, then the Chalk Digital is available. Basically allows you to create your own sponsored ad, but they have lots of predetermined templates for you, and each one of these accomplishes a different goal. So you would just have to decide what you're trying to do, and then it's already there. They have some really great commercials that they've created, 15-second, 30-second commercials. Some of them I think might even be like less than 15 seconds, just really cool stuff that you can kind of put onto your social media and then use that to boost it or sponsor that ad to drive people to you. Okay. Reminder about our luxury collection marketing. There is a totally separate marketing piece collection for luxury, if that's your thing, or you have a luxury property coming up. That would be anything in Pennsylvania that's 500,000 or more, and in Maryland, 650,000 or more. Obviously, the list price has to be reflective of the house, not because you have 500 acres of land and a tiny little 1-bedroom farmhouse, not luxury. So it does need to be an actual legit luxury home, and it has to be a complete home. So it can't be something that's like still in construction. Luxury properties get posted on our special luxury Pinterest board. It gets a separate YouTube playlist. It gets posted on homesaleluxury.com, and it actually has really specific presentation materials. Those are like black and white, black and cream versus our typical Cabernet color. And so it has a different listing presentation. It has really different flyers and marketing pieces. So if you're interested in that, check in with your office manager or poke around in all of the different marketing sections of Homesale Center and see what's available to you. Seller reports, one of my favorite things, possibly something that is just completely getting forgotten and missed in today's market, because homes are selling before you even get a chance to turn the darn thing on. So in some ways it's a little bit tough, but I still like to use it as much as I possibly can with my sellers, so that I'm still providing the value, and they do still get to see, at least for the 1 week that they potentially were active on the market, but some of them are a little bit longer. They do still get to see how their home was performing online, which I feel like is a huge gap in communication with a seller. Is like, what are online people feeling about this? How often is it showing up in those search results? How often are people actually clicking it and looking at the details? That's the piece that's missing, that the seller report does provide them. So it is very personal to the seller, as you can see in the example here. This top section is how many times it's shown up in search, how many times somebody actually clicked through it and looked at it in the last 4 weeks. Then it gets into details specifically on those like big hitter, Zillow, Realtor, like those kinds of things, how many on each site. Oops. And then it continues also on to show them the results of their just listed ad, show them the results of their open house ads. How many times was that clicked? How many times did people see that? It will also list out the dates that you did the open houses, as well as any other property specific online type stuff. Okay. So if you want to set that up, there's the navigation. As always, Homesale Center, you're going to your listings section, and then under active listings and tools, there is a way to set up a report to a seller. You can also just type seller report in the black search bar and it will direct you straight there. Okay. So the Earnest escrow deposit, I do like to remind you guys that this is an option for you. I'm going to start with Maryland, because Maryland is typically, this is going to be an easier system to use. In Maryland, the escrow check is held by the buyer broker versus instead of the listing broker. So whenever your offers go under contract in Maryland, you can very easily send this link out and have your clients just electronically send money in, and it sits with Homesale Realty. In Pennsylvania, things are a little bit different because the listing broker is the one that holds the earnest money check. So you can still use the system and you can still pitch the system to your clients, but what would have to happen is that the listing agent would need to agree to have Homesale Realty be the one that holds the earnest money check instead of them. Okay. If you have the listing and you want them to, and the buyer wants to be able to electronically send money, then you can take the link for this and send it to the buyer agent and say, hey, buyer agent, you know, if your buyers really want to do this electronically, here's the link to do that. And then it takes the whole the need for paper check away. There is a, I believe, $10 fee to use the system. That's not something that Homesale profits on. That's the directly a payload charge. Okay, the convenience fee, the convenience of using electronic systems. Okay, that is, I believe, in your other resources section of the Homesale Center. You can go in there, there's a form they have to fill out. You can check that out if you want to. You will only have access to your own area's Earnest account. Okay. Questions about that? It would be cool if we could really sort of adopt that more regularly, but it's not always easy as the listing side to get the buyer side to use it. Okay, so Moove Guru, hopefully everybody in the room caught some of those training videos that were coming out and the information that we were really pushing about Moove Guru. It's another service that is provided to your buyers. Definitely helps them. I don't know if you guys, but I've always had frustrations with my buyers listening when I tell them that they need to transfer their utilities. So sometimes they'll do some and not others, and it's kind of a mess occasionally. So when your clients move, since they need to change all those things out, we made a partnership with Moove Guru. And basically, Moove Guru is the one that reaches out with your and works with your clients and chooses the home services that they need and then facilitates that transfer and changeover. So the way that that works, it's important that when you create your loop, that you need to make sure your clients have all the contact information in there, phone number, email address, and that you have them marked as either a buyer or seller on that loop. Once you're under contract, that loop status needs to say under contract, and it needs to have the closing date. Otherwise, Moove Guru is not going to be able to know how to help you or how to help your clients because it doesn't know it's under contract and it doesn't know the projected closing date. So you need all that information in there, and then you'll get an email letting you know that your client has been enrolled and they will get contacted. Okay. If you want more information about how that works, there are a lot of training videos available on that as well on the Home Sale Center. So transaction assist, you can chat about that. The transaction assistant is somebody that you can hire. It's actually a team of people that you can hire now within Home Sale that will manage all of the contract to close paperwork. So if you're the kind of agent that is really amazing at getting the leads and getting people under contract and facilitating a sale, but then all of that like paperwork stuff afterwards is not your wheelhouse, or you're just like extremely overwhelmed and you have so many clients that you're working with and it's just hard for you to keep up with all of that, whatever the reason, it doesn't, or you just don't even have a reason. You just need an assistant, a personal assistant. That's what this transaction assist will do. So you would facilitate the introduction of the title, the lender, the co-op agent, and the client via email. So you're going to tell transaction assistant, this is my title person, this is the other agent, here's all my client information. And then you'll do your TSR just like you normally do and turn it in, submit for review so everybody has it. And then that person is going to communicate with all the parties involved and provide weekly updates to the client. They'll verify that the title is ordered. They will complete any forms. They'll confirm everything. They talk to the lender. They talk to the title people. They coordinate your inspections. They prepare the reports for you. The only thing that they won't do is negotiating. That is still you. So it's not taking you out of the picture. And it's really another team member, another person on your team who's sort of helping out and facilitating all of the paperwork and the processes. You are still deeply involved with the person themselves, with the negotiation, who's going to fix what, who's going to do what. And then that transaction assist is just like making that happen for you. Okay. They'll also coordinate the final walkthrough, set up that appointment, and it's $350 per transaction, which I think is very reasonable for kind of taking everything from the moment that you're under contract forward through settlement. Okay. If you want more information, that's the website. Again, I'm going to send this out to you afterwards so you have it. I do believe, don't hold me to gospel, I think it's still the first one is free so that you have the opportunity to meet the transaction assistant, work with her the first time, see if you like the services, and then after that, it would be just a one-time charge per transaction. Okay. And that's really picking up speed. You also have the option for a virtual assistant. So this would be less about transaction and more about like activities. So here would be a situation where you really want to get postcards out. You don't have time to deal with that. You know, you want to farm neighborhoods. You don't have the time or the energy or whatever to do that. Or you just have so much business right now that you're sensing that your prospecting pieces are kind of falling by the wayside. So whatever the situation is where you're feeling like, oh, gosh, I wish that there was somebody who could just do this for me, this is your person. Okay, I was a huge user of the virtual assistant for like the after effects of a seller. So if I wanted to set, like I had it under, I had it available in MLS, and then I would hire the virtual assistant to send out my just listed postcards and maybe other types of flyers and activities, just whatever I needed them for. So it's a unique menu of services. You can look at homesalevirtualassistant.com. There's also a button on the Home Sale Center. Okay, but they'll do an agent media package. That's kind of what you're seeing here to the right side. They'll take you out for photography. They'll write your biography. They've come up with all these like specialized branded pieces for you to use. So it would be postcards, it would be graphics, a special Facebook cover photo. So if you're looking to sort of rebrand, that's what the media kit does. They will do some administrative activity for your listings, for your under contracts. So if you want them, they will send out like a letter to the seller thanking them and send out those postcards for you. They'll create custom presentations for you. If you want to like heavily upgrade your listing presentation and do like some extra branded things, they will help with that. Okay. So much more. It's really like whatever I don't want to do, there is somebody I can hire to do it for me to help you facilitate your business. Okay. Reminder about your websites. Everybody in home sale gets a standard agent website. This is what that looks like. It is fairly customizable. There is a lot that you can do with this. You can add slogans, you can add bullet points, all kinds of stuff. It does give you a link to any of your listings. So your listings, if this example had them, would be right underneath of the bio. If you have customer reviews, they go up near the top of the page. And so there's all kinds of profile information. However, you do have the ability to upgrade your website and do a full service advanced website. So you can see that looks a little bit different. The photos in the back kind of rotate through. It is interactive, so they're able to like click different places on the website and read articles and do things like that. It's also potentially lead generating because they're able to search homesale.com for listings. And then if they want more information on any of them, that would be directed to you. And there's also the ability to do an AVM, which is like a Zillow's estimate. How much is my home worth? And they're able to put their address in that field. And then you would get notified that somebody at 123 Main Street was inquiring about their value. You can assume that's probably the homeowner. Okay. If you're interested in that, the individual agent is $60 per month or a slight discount for paying ahead for the whole year. That includes the consultation, a writer who's going to do your homepage and bio content, the initial startup, the compliance, and the ongoing maintenance. You don't have to do anything with this. Once you have finalized it, that's it. The website department will just keep it updated and do your stuff for you.
And you can change it as you want. Like it's not stuck the same way all the time. You can go to the website people and be like, hey, I saw this on someone else's website. Can we do something similar? And they're happy to work with you to make it however you want it.
Mm-hmm. Overall, it is very reasonable in cost comparatively to hiring other third parties to do that. But what I like about it too is that because it's in-house, we're able to really make sure it's fully compliant and that it's following all of those real estate guidelines. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say too is that they do have dozens of templates that you can choose from. I do find that a lot of times agents are just using the standard template, but you can actually customize this to the point where it doesn't even look like anybody else's at all. Okay, so there's definitely customization available there. Okay. Reviews. You will be able to keep both of your any type of website updated by connecting your Zillow profile and also now your Facebook account. So in the settings section of the website, you are able to connect Zillow and Facebook. That way Zillow will automatically come in with your 10 most recent reviews. Facebook gives you everything that has a 4-star minimum rating. So then that way your website's not getting things that are like not that great, which hopefully never happens to any of you. If you include your client's email address on your TSR or your case sheet, they will send them an electronic survey after settlement. So if that review comes in with 3 stars or more, that will also automatically filter onto your web page. You can also manually add reviews. Don't know if you knew that or not, but if you have existing reviews on Facebook or realtor.com or somewhere else, and you're like, man, I wish that was on my website, you can legitimately add manually what you have from your other sites. Social media connector. If keeping your social media updated is a struggle for you and not your thing, that is what the connector does for you. You have the ability to have the Home Sale Center automatically connect to your Facebook business page. And then when you do that, you can tell the system, these are the kinds of things that I want you to post for me. So for example, I have a new listing, or I have an open house that's upcoming, or somebody just gave me a review. Any one of those things, you can have it automatically show up on your business page. My Customer for Life articles, I just want to touch on quickly, that is now available to everyone. So if you go in there and you can have it automatically connect so that 3 times a week, an article will post, and they're actually fairly decent articles. I've even clicked on some of my own articles because they're that interesting. I'm like, oh, I even want to know about this. So it's very like friendly to the consumer about what types of things they are legitimately interested in reading about. So definitely take a look at those. I would suggest turning some of those on just to make sure that your page is updated consistently. And then you're just going to fill it in with your candid moments, day in the life real estate kind of stuff. And you don't have to be fussy then about the listings and the reviews. So the national brand came out with a different connection for video tool. It is now Videocast by SocialBoost. And it's nice because you can take the video on your phone and then upload it into the system to add an intro or to add an ending or to edit it in some way. You can do a voiceover, you can upload additional photos. So it definitely gives you the ability to customize and professionalize really your videos. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would suggest trying that. It allows you to share your videos directly to the marketing resource so that you can use that with any of the other video enabled templates, or share it directly to your social media. So in my mind, the first thing that I imagine is that if maybe I was doing a video enabled email or flyer or newsletter or something like that, where I can stick in a video component, then maybe I have a video of me saying, hi guys, just wanted to touch base with you for, April and see how everyone is doing, read on for this or that. It just gives me the opportunity then to have like a video that I can insert into any one of these other marketing resource promotions, or just share it directly to social. Quick note about the Homesale Hub. Is anybody in here not on the Homesale Hub yet? Okay. It's great. It's an awesome place for you guys to be able to get social media content very quickly. It's constantly being updated with new flyers you can use, social media graphics you can use. They even put together pop-by tags for you. And a lot of the things that they put on this page for you to use can actually be branded to you, and it will tell you if that's one of the brandable things, and they'll will tell you who to contact to get your face and your contact information on those graphics or on those tags. Okay, but that is now where you're finding our items of value, which is that once a month flyer on various fun touch topics with our clients. It does give you cover photos occasionally for seasonal things, and just general tips and tricks for social media.
Yep.
So if
I did put that link in the chat. So if you're not a part of it, you can just click that link in the chat and it'll take you right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it's nice having an assistant on here. So the Agent Plus program, just a quick reminder for those of you who have been with us for a while, this used to be called Team Builder. It's now Agent Plus. And it is definitely a great way for you to have additional income stream. It continues even, and this is a newer change, for 3 years even after you retire. So if you were to go into referral realty or go into retirement or whatever you're trying to do, those Agent Plus, those continues to be residual income for you for 3 years following that. It's really nice because it helps us hire agents who you think would be really great for real estate that you would like to work alongside. So if you find somebody, and usually this happens with me with clients, to be honest with you, when I'm working with people over and over again, buying and selling, they fall in love with the process and they're like, I want to be an agent too. Why not use that as why not have that be a benefit to you? Okay, so it just gives you some options. If you find like really great people and they're perfect for real estate and they are really making money, so will you. So if the person you bring on makes $100,000 in adjusted GCI in 1 year, that would be $1,000 every year that you would be making off of that person. So the more of those types of people, the more your annual additional income could be. Okay, not a requirement by any stretch, but definitely something for you to keep top of mind when those opportunities appear in front of you, to jump on them and use that as residual income. A note about Accelerate and our new to business career development classes. It's good information for you to know, because these people that you're working alongside who are brand new agents to home sale are performing way better than the typical standard new agent across the country would be. So they're all required to attend intro, core, and advanced Accelerate sessions. You all who are seasoned are also welcome to join in at any point for any of those classes and refresh your memory, or maybe learn some new things, especially with the advanced Accelerate sessions. Those are more geared towards a seasoned person potentially, or those who are beyond the foundational classes. Independent agents are mentored and coached. For team leaders, they are also sending their team members into training sessions as well. So it gives you an opportunity. Knowing that and understanding that helps you to have your own conversations with those potential agent plus opportunities. So people who want to get into the business and you're bringing them on, the more you understand about the training program and the benefits of our training program, the better you're able to communicate that to them and help them get on board. And they'll be more profitable faster. So that's what the graphic is that you're seeing here. For agents who have been in the business 2 years or less, now this is 2020, we do not yet have 2021 results. The National Association of Realtors says that they average 3 units per year. Whereas our home sale realty graduates themselves overall are doing double that in the same time period. And those that are in the top tier of our Accelerate graduates are doing 11.5 to 14 per year, which is really amazing considering the average national is 3. I think we all know as seasoned agents, 3 is like nothing. barely covers the cost of your license. Okay, so we are rolling out another training and development program that is called Thrive, and this time it's very directed to vet career development. So seasoned agents, veteran agents, to be able to thrive and grow and get bigger and change with what's going on in the market. So that's going to have expert panels. There will be mastermind groups and office huddles. We are in the really early stages of developing this brand for our vet offerings right now. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is something we're working towards pretty heavily over the course of this year, to have a separate specific vet program that will include tools and resources and training sessions that are going to be geared towards your needs and help benefit you and grow your careers as well. Commercial Corner is already rolled out, so you're seeing some of that. And then the Dream Builder program. Has anybody in here not heard of Dream Builder yet? We'll talk a little bit about that too, but definitely things that for the vet agent need to be on the radar. So Commercial Corner, this is a monthly virtual forum. Scott Smith, who is our commercial operations manager, is the person who typically does those classes for you guys. He shares tips and best practices for commercial stuff. And attendees, it's a conversation just like this where you can have your commercial questions answered, and all the sessions are recorded. So if you have missed the first couple of them, you can find them again in Home Sale Center under the training videos section and get yourself caught up a little bit on what they've been talking about in that Commercial Corner. And the next one is coming up on April the 19th at 1. They're Zoom sessions, so you can hop in. Dream Builder, as a quick reminder, is another revenue stream. One of the huge disconnects for real estate agents is when they decide that they don't want to be in the business anymore. It's time to transition. I am just kind of getting over it, or I want to pursue a different passion, or I just don't want to be doing real estate anymore. Whatever it is that is causing you to consider finishing up in this career, there's been a gap, because what happens is that the business base, the database that you have created over your years and years of real estate business kind of just gets left, you know, because like, what are you supposed to do with them? So Dream Builder was created to help you sort of pass the torch for all of your clients so that they're not left looking for another agent and figuring out what to do, but you kind of are starting that process early and intentionally passing the torch on to another agent who is going to take your people and roll with them and stay connected with them for however long their business runs for. So you can either pause. It's really helpful for a pause. Something happens, you need to take care of a loved one, you need to take care of yourself. You can have somebody else sort of step in and run your business. That's an option. Or if you're ready, if you're relocating, moving out of the area and you need to pass the book of business on to somebody else. Okay, so there are videos all around DreamBuilder and how that works. There's a structured system for referral compensation between yourself and the agent that you're passing the torch to. Okay. And that's really helpful for you if you are thinking about retirement, to continue to have that revenue stream instead of just cutting it off altogether. Well, here's where we're living at now. The CE shop in Pennsylvania for Maryland runs a little bit differently. So it's always available for you to hop onto the CE shop and take your CE as needed. In Pennsylvania, we all expire at the same time. So that's coming up very quickly in May, at the end of May. If you haven't yet taken your CE, we do have that direct link in our training and education tile on the Homesale Center where you would be able to hop in and order your online CE.
And if you have a little bit of time to wait, usually on the third Wednesday of the month, there's a coupon that comes out usually for like 30 or 40% off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So keep that in mind. The clock is ticking for us in Pennsylvania. I still need to do it myself. So Dergalis Associates, if you are finding that you're struggling to be disciplined in saving for taxes, we're all feeling it now because it is tax time. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I really could have done a better job, then Dergalis is available to help with that. They help with benefits, health insurance, disability insurance, college savings. They can also do in Roth IRAs, 401ks, things like that. So in Pennsylvania, you would either be working with Jesse or Jamie, and in Maryland, you would either be working with JP or Greg to help you with that. They're very responsive. They're really helpful just to make sure that like the things that you need are the things that you are pursuing and reaching. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to leave whatever other provider you're working with. It's just an assessment to make sure. What I love about it is their tax savings plan. Every time I sell a home and I have a commission, a portion of that just automatically goes into a tax savings account that's far enough removed from me that like if I'm like, man, I sure would like to like grab another pair of shoes, it's not that accessible to me to just like whip it out of an extra account. So it's very easy to get when you need it, just not so easy that you're, overworking your cars. Okay, so keep that in mind. Other available items, just in general for you to consider, there are brochures and booklets available to you for all your consumers at your offices. They're all really nicely done, really professional brochures and flyers and pieces. You are welcome to use as many of those as you need in your life. They're all free to you. We also have our buyer and seller services guarantees. If you haven't reviewed those in a while, definitely pop in and take a look. Sometimes that can be the difference in having a seller list with you or having a buyer work with you, is this layman's terms services brochure. Here's what I'm going to be doing to work with you. And if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, then we can terminate our relationship. There's other promotional materials, tumblers, mugs, fun things like pop sockets. All of that is available both under the Resource Center, and there's a bunch of different places you can click tiles on the Homesale Center to find them. In case you didn't know, there are borrowable trade show materials. So if you're like going to an event and you want to have some kind of booth or table set up, there are trade show materials that you can borrow to do that with. Check with your manager on that. Market share graphs to show the success of Homesale Realty is available. Stationery, business mail, office supplies, all kinds of different things. You just got to poke around the Homesale Center and look at those third-party ordering sites to see what's available to you. Reminder about all of the other in-house services that we have. Obviously the real estate company itself, but we have tons of other things under the roof. Homesale Mortgage LLC, which, by the way, in case you weren't aware of it, they also refinance. I think they do refinancing. So if your sellers or buyers have those needs down the line, you can certainly refer them to our own in-house. We also have settlement services in-house. We also have insurance in-house. And I really like the insurance program personally myself, because it's almost like an insurance broker. So it's like, Geico sells Geico, Allstate sells Allstate, and that's the products that are available. But what's nice about working with an insurance broker is that you are able to research, I think they do up to 40 different insurance companies, so that you're making sure that the coverage that you get is the best possible coverage, and that the rate that you're getting is the best possible rate.
And once you're with them, like, they don't just kind of leave you out to hang and don't, like, they check in with you. Like, my stepdaughter was in an accident, so we had a bunch of rate increases, and my insurance agent from Homesale reached out and was like, hey, saw you had a rate increase. Are you okay if I shop around for you? And I was like, yeah, if you can just save me some money, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they stick with you throughout everything. They also, I didn't realize this before I was talking to them, offer renters insurance. So I know quite a few agents have rentals. And if your renters coming in don't have insurance, that is an option for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So definitely something to consider for yourself, but also to be able to speak to for your clients. Homesale relocation services, that's our relo and referral department. So relocation process is easy. Referring outbound is really easy. There's just a super quick form on the Homesale Center that you would fill out if you have somebody moving out of the area that you would need to connect with an agent. And as a reminder, we do have in-house property management through American Heritage. That was helpful to you for your investor clients, for landlord clients that you have, for yourself if you're into property management, that you would need some assistance with that. So keep that in mind. Any questions at all about the stuff that we covered? And was that helpful, hopefully, to you to refresh your memory about some of those offerings? Okay, great. If you think of any questions, you can certainly reach out and ask. You can ask me, you can ask your office manager. I am going to work on getting this set up as a PDF to share with all of you now that we've kind of closed out. That way you have that as a reference. And I appreciate you guys spending the morning with me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thank y'all.
Bye.